Silent of goal! Liquiders doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Bernie! Alone with a double kill! Dropping fast! Monopoint's there! He's still alive! Wait, seconds left! He's got one side! He's got a second! He's taking it! They're overtime! On three! They're all dead!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Summit 2 by G2A.com continues on our fourth and final game of China group stage. We only got one day of group stage left, so things are really heating up here, Cuddle Guy.
Yeah, we're getting right down to the bitter end. I keep checking over the Liquipedia page just to make sure, and we already have 3 teams that have secured the 4 spots in the playoffs. Those teams, of course, like we said before, Newbie now 5-0, they're in.
Yep.
LGD CDEC, or I keep saying they're not even LGD CDEC anymore. They're just CDEC. CDEC are 5-1. They've secured a spot, and now with that previous win, LGD have secured their spot, being 5-2. That leaves one more spot left, and IG are currently holding that spot at a 3-4. So we could potentially have tiebreakers between the rest of these teams at that 3-4 record, but there's also a fair amount of variables. Hyper Glory team have to face 2 more teams, that being Newbie and VG. If they win both of those somehow, they'll be up there above IG. If VG win out these games, they'll also be in the tiebreaker mix. But this is a huge game.
So VG has a chance. This is do or die for basically both these teams. We'll look at the draft as it's going by very quickly. But if Team DK lose this, they're 100% out of the running for the top 4.
Yes.
And VG, if they lose this, they're not 100% out, but it makes their
very
chances, very, very dull.
It only takes like one win from Hyper Glory team to pretty much secure VG's demise of the Summit.
Yeah, and based on how they've been playing so far in this tournament, man, and maybe it's just post ESL jitters. I mean, they were looking good. They just won a big tournament, but that last game in particular,
it's a very, very questionable draft. And
yeah,
LGD is no one that you just kind of underestimate. They have looked solid ever since they brought in their new roster, and you cannot just kind of, underestimate how they're going to play. And I think VG know that. They've come out strong right here. They're not going to, dick around, if you will. They get a hold of a Skywrath Mage and that Centaur War Runner right off the bat. DK also very, very important game for them. They grab a hold of the Brewmaster and the Shadow Demon. As far as bans, we're not going to see Naga. We're not going to see Terrorblade, so we're not going to be going the long road on this one. They ban out the Rubik, the Visage, and Vici Gaming ban out and get rid of that Razor, Death Prophet, Spectre, and Marana. But look at this. They pick up a Crystal Maiden, which is very interesting, but they have done good work. I know you're kind of face-palming a bit that the grab is thinking, like, this isn't just your typical good support that we always see. There's plenty of other options out there as far as someone who can roam about and be able to contribute a fair amount of lockdown, but maybe they're considering an additional lineup that needs a bit more intel to work with. So we'll see as they get a hold of the Crystal Maiden and DK fire back with the Nature's Prophet.
Now, CM's in a very weird place right now. She was broken support amazing like 2 or 3 patches ago, and then she got that huge nerf to her starting in. And that's what really knocked her down, where her jungling now is just not what it used to be. You used to be able to just spam that Frostbite, get some clarities, and effectively be a jungler that could rotate. And you simply can't do it anymore. A lot of players will say that she's not a very strong support. A lot of them will say she's the poo-poo. But one thing that she does bring to the table that's very good is the aura. And when you tag that along with the Skywrath Mage, a hero that likes to spam out that mana pool very aggressively, there's some synergy there. You can sort of see how that could work, but I think overall CM is definitely one of the weaker supports. Like compared to a hero like Sand King, it's almost no competition.
So interesting. They're doing what LGD just did. They get a Clockwork, who's a formidable offlaner, in addition to what they already got as the premier offlaner in Centaur War Runner. So is this a position for Clockwork the same way that LGD just ran it? They want someone to close the gap, lock them in place, but it's not like there's a Razor on the other team. But though Clockwork is one of the best on hunting down and getting rid of a pesky Nature's Prophet, so I guess it does work there, but overall still very interesting draft coming out from VG.
Yeah, interesting is the good word for it.
Below, Clockwork works very nicely with Skywrath Mage as well. Jumps in, locks him with the cogs, and it sets up for a very
Centaur.
easy...
So, I mean, what are we going to have a safe lane Clockwork? Is this a super Clockwork headed to the mid?
We could have an aggressive off lane coming out from Vici Gaming that does involve maybe Centaur farming up as a core, which we've seen a couple of times definitely work out. We may even see, Black pick up the Centaur himself and roll side by side with a Skywrath Mage Crystal Maiden towards the off lane, and then throw Ice the Clockwork, and then leave out this last grab here for Super, which from seeing what's left, I'm just going to casually throw out a DK as a possible grab here for them, though that's going to leave a lot of melee on their side as far as who their cores are going to be, and the late game can also be a bit questionable, but for DK, they're going to get the power old school combo, Leshrek and Shadow Demon. That's going to put some great early roam and some great reliable lockdown. Throw out the disruption, throw out the split earth, and we have an intense party happening.
Yeah, love that combo. We've seen it a time or two in our day. It has a lot of potency, and we've seen the power of Lesh if he gets a bit of momentum. So still hard to say if it'll be a support or a core Lesh. Probably a support, but this final pick will bring it all into focus, and there could be an option for something like an Ogre Magi here, final pick for DK, and you never know. We could see Lesh farming away in that safe lane. Ember Spirit.
Okay, that's good. For Super, he's going to pick it up in the mid lane, get someone very elusive, someone who could chop down those trees, wave clear it on out, and has great late game potential, because their late game potential as it wasn't too significant, and it adds a little more lockdown with the chains to help out with maybe Skywrath Mage, Crystal Maiden locking him in place, and getting some great AoE follow-up. But here we go, the last grab, and already CTY gets a hold of it. Slark, another formidable snowball kind of a hero right now, can be very elusive, pesky. Crystal Maiden, Skywrath Mage, they're going to be very susceptible to being caught out from this Slark and could risk handing over a lot of unnecessary kills.
This is a Black Centaur.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. Black Centaur, it's a core Centaur.
All right. Well, all right.
And I think they might do it in an aggressive...
Will they?
An aggressive off lane.
This is a pretty good tri-lane you've got going on here. The Ancient Seal with the damage from Centaur, Frostbite to set it up, get your Hoof Stomp. Then you got your Ancient Seal to buff up all the damage. It is pretty scary. It's a potent tri-lane. Undoubtedly, Black will get a fast Blink Dagger, but is that going to be enough against a Brewmaster who should be... Well, if he's going to be up against this tri-lane, that Blink not going to come out too early. But
this is getting tense, man. For both teams, this is a very, very serious game. DK, their tournament life is on the line with this one. They go down, they are out. I don't think there's any chance at all for them to come back into the tournament whatsoever. And Vici,
no, they're done.
They desperately need this win to at least hope for there's an opportunity to get into some serious tiebreakers. They have 2 more games after this to be able to try to bring in a few more W's into that win column.
Yep.
And then hopefully we'll be able to pull it on out.
Yeah, let's introduce some rosters here. Radiant side, we've got Vici Gaming, Fenrir on the Skywrath Mage. It'll be Black on the Centaur. They'll be headed to the safe lane. Will be Super mid on the Ember Spirit. That puts FY on the Crystal Maiden, and Ice headed off lane on the Clockwork. And, well, almost gets initiated on here, but gets those nipple cogs down. We'll burn a little bit of mana from that Slark.
Crystal Maiden, be careful. They get that disruption off. She is down.
She did go boots first, to be fair, but yeah, disruption, a pretty potent early game setup when you got Ponyboy there.
And I said it last time, DK, they're not a team to underestimate. This new roster can definitely pull out the potential. Yeah, they had a very unfortunate turn of events in their previous matchup. And, man, I had to go back and even watch that last skirmish in that game, and it was just that unfortunate swap timing right together with the Chronosphere on the puck, and it just really cost them.
Yeah, well, the end of that game was almost more fail on the other side than big plays for DK, but it was an intense game nonetheless. It seemed like they were going to be down and out early on, and they held in it to the end. It was some pretty solid setup. But
anyways, to move on through with the DK roster happening here up in your top lane at CTY, farming it up on your Slark. He's going to be side by side with Cold Snap on your support Leshrek. Also in that lane to power out that double duo combo, it's going to be Mr. XBG. It looks like playing your Shadow Demon in the mid lane to contest against this Ember Spirit. It's going to be Dreamy You playing your Brewmaster, and to round it all out for the side of Team DK, in your off lane, it is going to be Black Z playing your Nature's Prophet.
Yes, sir.
Black versus Black.
Yeah, Black versus Black indeed. He's having some trouble in this offlane, getting harassed pretty hard, finding some stray last hits here and there, but all things considered, not the easiest offlane for him. Sort of the same story for Clockwork. So both offlaners in Strug City, and the position ones getting essential free farm here. Mid lane, also, well, this one's going the way of Super. 7-4 versus the 4-0 Brewmaster. Maybe things are a little easier for Dreamy U now that he has his bottle out, but out of the gate, it is Super with some momentum. And I will say that this Vici lineup, very snowbally. If Super wins this mid lane, gets some momentum, maybe controls the runes, you know, a couple of hastes, a couple of double damages, and hey, all of a sudden, this Ember Spirit could be pretty damn scary. That on top of Black getting a pre-10-minute Blink Dagger, there's potential just to snowball this game out of control before DK really get a lot of momentum themselves.
Yeah, and Super on this Ember Spirit is going to be their big, hard-hitting late gamer. You know, he's already as elusive as it is with that Remnant ability. It's going to be more pressure on the duo with the Leshrac and the stun lockdown to try to keep him in place before he's the opportunity to slip on out. So we'll see if DK are going to be able to do it here, as for now it's just kind of Brew who's going to look to try to farm it on up, get his level 6, hopefully get an early Blink Dagger, and try to start getting some early kills in with that Primal Split.
Yep, certainly. So CTY getting pretty good farm up top. One of the great things about Slark as a carry is early game, he can do a lot of damage without too many items, and Super, he's getting clicked pretty hard here. Searing Chains come down onto Dreamy U. It's bait in the tower, but he's got a haste rune on. Will scurry back to safety, but Vici getting fancy there.
Thank goodness for that haste rune. Out of there promptly. So looking to push behind the tower, though, is Black here on the bottom lane Centaur. Oh, he will not catch the hoof stomp there. Nature's Prophet just shuffling a little too quick as he has those boots. Is able to avoid the incoming stun.
Yeah, boot scoot and boogie here for Black Z. He'll be all right. Running out of regen, though, so his ability to stay in this lane will soon evaporate. Skywrath still has good bit of mana in this pool. There's your concussive and double edge with some doves. That'll be your first blood. Drawn out by Fenrir on the Skywrath Mage, and this time the dive will be successful.
They quickly go back, but look who's quickly coming into the lane. It's going to be Mr. Shadow Demon pulls up Disruption here. Trying to get a little bit confident getting hold of Black, but Beefy Centaur will be able to withstand that.
Black will be okay with that. He had the salve on while that just helped heal him up. Lowering the chance he'll get knocked off. Dreamy U in the mid lane in some trouble. FY rotates over. Super in hot pursuit gives him the fiery sword, and the Brewmaster, well, they're gonna cut him down.
Nice grab now. Both bottom and mid lane for VG allows him to start out with a good 1-2 punch, moving on 2-0. Ice throws out the rocket to kind of scout a bit. He'll move over. He will see Leshrac is here. Pings him out. Kind of for himself. See what the hell's happening.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Just moving on through. They had deep warded this top lane, so Ice does not technically have proper vision, but the benefit of that clockwork is with that rocket you can kind of get a better idea of what the hell's happening here. And he will have to play it safe as far as how he will use these cogs, because that could end up being his demise if he gets himself in a bit of a bind. And will allow for an easy stun lockdown coming out from Cold Snap and Slash.
So all of a sudden, it's looking a lot better for the Radiant side. And yeah, look at the body blocks from Super. Connects with the Searing Chains. FY comes in, and that's more than enough damage to bring down the Brew. Even a Rocket Flare from the top lane, adding for that extra bit of damage.
There's your Crystal Maiden, your underutilized pick. Kind of putting in some serious work, assisting Super in this mid lane, kind of being the duo factor. Splitter going to catch on that Crystal Maiden. Boom, boom, boom! Triple Remnant to fly on forward. They want to get a hold of the Billy Goat, and can they do it? Should be able to one more right click, and bam! VG coming out super strong as Super picks up another sweet kill for him and gets to secure phase boots now.
Well, this is that snowball factor we were talking about, and it seems like the Brewmaster is not prepared for the rotations of Crystal Maiden. Looking at the dire vision, a lane ward in the mid would have gone a long way here just to catch wind of those rotations, see when she's standing on the high ground, and, well, it's really cost Dreamy U, and now Super's got a lot of momentum coming his way. 5 minutes, he already has his phase boots, and he's hitting pretty hard relative to how early on it is in this game. You look at the Brewmaster, and he's just on brown boots bottle, and he's really hurting for farm at this point.
For FY with those assists and able to help out. Secures herself a little bit of Tranquil Boots, but they're still going again. They want to get Brew again. They might. That Frostbite locks him in place, but this time he has the support. Moving on in with a defensive disruption is going to be your Shadow Demon, but he just turns attention towards Leshrac. Nice sidestep, avoids the Split Earth, and Super grabs another killing spree for him. Skywrath Mage, though, might not be so lucky, and indeed, Fenrir will fall. So they managed to finally get themselves on the board for the side of DK.
Still a 1 for 2, though. They get the kill on the Brew as Fenrir comes in.
Oh, wow.
And it's not over yet. Ice, not level 6, so no hook shot, but going the Rocket Flare build primarily. So looking to get stray last hits, has 20 CS to his name, and can actually harass in the other lanes with it pretty effectively. Gets his urn delivered, and Vici are just going to keep up this aggression and try and get that snowball rolling. Looks like they want to try to seal the deal on this one sooner rather than later, as Black Tranquil Boots already up halfway to that Blink Dagger.
They're coming in. They're angry. They shouldn't be in this kind of a situation with, their backs against the wall in this tournament. They got to secure a good spot to be able to get themselves into these playoffs, and they're showing it right now. They're coming out very aggressive. They have a solid game plan this go-around, and it's working very nicely for them. As now we see a support roam, both smoked up. They're looking to turn around from the back end of this tower and possibly make a go here on the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, they get a ward down on the high ground, so they get all this beautiful vision. Such a good ward spot, and they'll just dive this tower and feel okay about it. They'll work around the tree line.
They're going to get them.
And, yeah, nothing that the Prophet can do. Takes the Frostbite. Black comes in, gives him the double edge, chops him down, and there'll be nothing left but a little blood puddle when they're done with it. Meanwhile, in the mid, Searing Chains onto Dreamy U once more. He has a Primal Split. Maybe forced to use it. He's got to use it soon. Oh, my gosh. Super. Almost finishes him off with the split from the fist, but still, it's a wasted Primal Split. I put wasted in air quotes as he needed it to survive, but he'll get nothing out of it.
Yeah, but it's worth it. You don't want to be handing more kills to Super as it is and allow him to really get to that pinnacle point very, very quickly. So it's unfortunate he has to use it, but you got to do it something. Oh, rocket to fly out. Woohoo! Nice sidestep, though, from the Brood. Was not going to be caught out from that one, Dreamy U.
That was pretty damn close.
It was. It's a level 3 rocket, so it would have done it.
That's a good timing by Ice 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 there. It would have been awesome to see that pick off. But look at this item from Slark. He's going Hand of Midas on brown boots. So
pounces forward. He misses it. It's got to be careful.
But I'm not sure how I feel about this Midas pickup. Vici Gaming's already 4,000 gold, 3,000 experience ahead, and this just extends that window where they can really punish with all these early game focused item pickups where Slark is not going to be online. I mentioned that he's a carry that can do a lot of damage early on without a lot of items, but still the Midas will hold back his potential.
He pounces forward at the same time Ice 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 pulls out the cogs, and he might have to... Yeah, he does. He pulls out the ultimate right there. Ice 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 steps back. They both kind of divert each other. As unfortunately probably going to be mid-lane. All mid-lane. Yep, nice Searing Chain. Got to catch right there in the meantime. He wants to quickly take down the Brew, who does not have Primal Split this time, but Super's also very low, and quick escape as he remnants back to the mid-lane. The power of your Ember Spirit, he's able to kind of move in, try to get the job done, and in case things get a bit too hairy, similar to a Morphling with the Replicant, he can just pop right back out.
Yeah, there you go. So Black now just about 300 gold away from his Blink Dagger, getting absolute free farm down here in the bottom lane. The Nature's Prophet has abandoned. He's headed off to the jungle. Black Seat going for a couple of null tallies on his brown boots, but he's in Strug City also. Taking a look at the net worth, he's trying to find recovery farm to the max. The two cores of Vici, both Super and Black, top in the net worth chart. Slark not far behind him, but again, a lot of that gold is sitting in the Midas right now, so not very effective in terms of being able to skirmish. And now Black with his creep wave will have his blink, and I think this is when we see Black start joining the fight and well, getting a little bit more active.
The unfortunate thing for DK is this dynamic duo of Shadow Demon and Lesh. Has it done anything yet? I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of disruption split of combos that they were expecting to get very aggressive with early on, and it's yet to make anything happen. Uh-oh, jump in, Ice Ice Ice. Wow. There was a Shadow Demon there briefly, but Ice 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 just flies out from the Raptors and quickly takes him down, and now he's on the retreat away as Nature's Prophet does come on in. Meanwhile, FY just frees up and lock down that Lashrek, but also coming on in is going to be your Slark. CTY looking to clean this kill up here on the Clockwork, and they will be able to grab it right there. So now a support for your offlaner, FY. The Ice Queen trying to get away from this one. Juke and jive through the trees. Desperation TP. Can he get out? Whoa! He can. They don't have the stun available. No mana for the Split Earth. And he just kind of walks out. So Vici Gaming, they do lose their offlaner. It takes a fair amount of rotation plays coming out from DK to just kind of make that work to their benefit.
Yeah, but in comes Big Brad. Blink Dagger at the ready. 10 minutes in. Black is looking for vengeance. Not the best trade for Vici, but
still it out though.
Yeah, still okay. DK did have to pull a 5-hero rotation to make that happen, which is definitely worth noting. Yeah, Dire have a ward right there. Yeah, Barshy blows. And, well, their jig will be up. So.
Yeah, without a smoke, you're not going to be gone on the scene. And they're just standing on the ward now. So mid lane well onto this. It does keep them back from the farm quite a bit. Maybe they might use it to their advantage if they want to bait out the Brewmaster here, who now has Split ready to go. They can go in quick with, oh yeah, see, Shadow Demon's going to be here. Nice, there we go. Defensive Disruption is going to prevent them from getting that big burst off. But they're still committing for this one. They have Ancient Seal already procced out on the Brew. Brew is able to get away, and now FY is going to be forced to go on the retreat. And actually, Brew ends up falling.
Wow, Skywrath Mage brings it down, but Black comes in, cuts down the Shadow Demon. Now the chain's out on Cold Snap. A quick 3 for Nil. And DK just in shambles. We're only 11 minutes in, but they're in big trouble. CTY comes up to the high ground, ultimate at the ready, but still just such a small inventory. Basically just power treads and a bracer. Steals a Centaur, and Black says, hey, that's my family. Nobody messes with my Centaur wife and gets away with it, Slark. I see you.
I feel like Brew just kind of underestimated like the incoming rocket damage as well. I mean, it's a level 4 rocket.
It's not a build you see too often, so pretty easy to underestimate.
He didn't even get to have his Primal Split go off. And, it might have also been a Nova from the low ground from Crystal Maiden, and he just falls. And feels like he would have been safe without pulling out the Primal Split, but he just grossly underestimates the incoming damage. Hands over his life.
Yep. So again, DK all grouped up here, and they're trying to get some kills, trying to make something happen, but Vici still finding more effective farm as Ice is down in the bottom lane. And in comes Black, misses the hoof stomp as CTY pounces back, uses a Dark Pact, and won't get caught out this time, but this Tier 1 tower may well go down. Rocket Flare flies in, gives him some vision, and also helps to soften him up as Super. Flame Guard online, ready to press forward. Gets the Searing Chains, but the pounce is there from Slark. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Shadow Demon just gets chopped down, as will the Lesh.
That was 2 quick chops that took out 2 supports just like that, and those 2 supports are broke as a joke right now. They have nothing to their name except a pair of brown shoes and a pence. It is unfortunate for them as they just cannot stand up to the heavy burst that could be coming out from the whole side of VG Gaming. Whether it's going to be the Mystic Flare, the burst, the Arcane Bolt damage, obviously Centaur War Runner with his double edge is just devastating. Wipes out nearly 2/3 of their life altogether.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Definitely so. Super comes in. Bolas connect onto Dreamy U, but he'll have a TP scroll, and he'll use it straight away. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, damage coming out to this bottom Tier 1 tower. Back-to-back tower kills for Vici. Going to be a reality here. DK won't even bother to glyph it. Not going to come to its defense anyhow. And 13-2, now 7,500 gold and experience in the Radiant's favor. Ice picks up a Ring of Health, but Black goes right in on the Shadow Demon. And again, doing so much damage here. The Rocket Flare enough to bring him down low. FY flies through to finish him off. Hook shot from Ice. Another quick 2-for-0. A double for FY. Vici just running him over.
Yeah, they are farming through these supports like they're nutting right now. Just maybe a lingering defensive disruption to come out from the Shadow Demon, but really nothing else they can contribute. It's not like Lesh is going to be there and available to try to build through and farm down some of these towers or structures. It's just all defense right now coming out from DK. And now they have to kind of second guess on where they can even commit. A swift Sleight of Fist soon to come out from Super will just kind of end their life promptly so. And their initiation plays are so good. Super already has fantastic jump in, Centaur with his blink, Clockwork with his hook shot. They're constantly going to be running scared at this point. Now they're already picking out the mid lane. They want to make another go.
Yeah, I mean, this Brewmaster just has nothing. Dreamy U, 0-4 and 0, 1,600 gold. We're 14 minutes in. This is the hero that's supposed to be active at this stage in the game, controlling the tempos, blinking around, being scary with this ultimate. So far, he's used it basically just as a defensive tool to avoid death a couple of extra times and has been able to grab absolutely no momentum. I mean, look at the Radiant supports. They're both farming more than he is. Crystal Maiden's 1,000 net worth up on him.
Yeah, that's a struggling start from DK.
Scary.
It's bad.
Yeah,
real bad for DK. And this is their tournament life on the line. And, just as ambitious and
Dire's
VG, who don't want to be handing over any more unnecessary losses. So they're looking to fight real hard in this one. And they're showing it. This is the VG Gaming that we were expecting to see.
Yeah,
pretty much the majority of the tournament.
Everybody that lost all those rares over the last 2 days of VG games. This is the team that they were expecting to see, and they finally showed up to play here in this match versus DK. We'll see a rotation mid. Hook shot onto Dreamy U. The defensive disruptions there buys him some time, but Ayo Bola's in on the Shadow Demon. He gets chopped down, and as does the rest of his team. They die faster than you can call the play-by-play here, Dakota.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter. He jumps in, and you think that he's going to get out of Primal Split, but Skywrath Mage is one of the biggest arch nemesis to a Brewmaster. Just quick instant silence with Ancient Seal, and he's already locked down in that cog nipple cage. Just sets up for the perfect Mystic Flare to slam it on home, and there's nothing even the Brew can do, and he is still going to be put behind on getting his Blink Dagger. Yeah. This is going terrible for DK.
This Panda has been tamed. They're taking his bamboo and limiting his rations here. He's about to have his Blink Dagger, 200 gold away, but it's feeling like too little too late. 18-2. I mean, really at this point, I think DK could tap out at any time, and nobody would be that surprised. Tier 2 tower mid goes down. Slark does have 1,300 gold, or 2,300 gold rather. Probably looking for a Blink Dagger of his own, but still just so much devastation has come out while he's been trying to get his initial farm going on that it feels like no matter what he gets next, it just...
The other player on their team who's going to have to look to pull out is Black Z on DK. The Nature's Prophet also went for a Midas build.
Oh my god, they went double Midas into this?
Yeah, they're trying to build together the farm and the XP to try to really contest Vichi's game, but it's going to be rough. Black now finishes his Force Staff. There you see Brew is able to put together his Blink Dagger. They're going to pull out the smoke. And, you know, maybe almost a desperation play to try to get some momentum back on this side. 18-2 is just devastating to be looking at. And also, Ice, he builds together a Vanguard. So now he can go in and he has a bit of a tougher shell to kind of duke it out. I imagine this could eventually build into
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Vici Gaming just itemizing for the here and now, recognizing they have this huge edge, getting items that are valuable in the early game to try to seal the deal sooner rather than later. It looks like Super will be moving into a Battle Fury, and Centaur, CM both go the way of Force Staff, so getting some more utility items. Always good to have. Smoke rotation from DK.
This is their chance to come back. Yeah, they need it.
Oh,
they can't get in range of Ice. He just drops the cogs, and now that's going to split the fight in half. Meanwhile, don't blink an eye because Fenrir is moving on to a dominating streak, but we keep eyes in the mid lane as they able to bring down Ice, but FY drops down the ultimate. Bear, though, going to be split right now, and they're going to push on through. Super now shows up, has plenty of resources to work with, quickly gets Cyclones up and into the air, and they're already fighting against a 2-1 takedown at the end of this one. As bottom lane, they had lost already. Their Nature's Prophet against the Skywrath Mage, but looking to jump on in is Black. He makes quick work of Brew. It might be an endangered panda species, but he doesn't really care. He moves on through. Centaur's more mythical, by the way. Anyways, pressing on in, it's going to be Shadow Demon, who also gets chopped down. 3 for 1 all day, 22-3. This might be a quick one.
Yep, it's looking like it. 3-2-2, but the opposite way. The dream is partially real, I suppose. Battle Fury now up for the Ember Spirit, and I really don't see any way DK can get back at this one. Yeah, if you're looking at a mirror, yeah. CM, she may get picked off here. CTY comes in and will go down. So that's
4-2-2.
Yeah, that's a big gold boost going the way of the Nature's Prophet. Cold Snap will get left behind, and burns down to the fire of the Ember Spirit.
Heartbreaking if you're a DK fan, because this being their tournament life, and it just continues to get worse. I mean, before I can even finish my thought, they grab another quick kill on their Shadow Demon. Brew comes in thinking he can probably contest, but now he's going to be caged like the panda animal he is, and they'll just simply walk around and just turn your kids' eyes away. This is just a slaughter now. VG Gaming, very serious about this now.
Yeah, get the mop and bucket. There's a puddle on the floor, and it's the blood of Team DK. Crimson Guard will be coming out for Ice, and Slark. He did go for a Shadow Blade. I like this better than the Blink Dagger. At least gives him that inkling of being able to move around and get some pickoffs. But Vici are just completely unrelenting. I love how aggressive they're being here and not slowing up whatsoever. FY. Ooh, here's that Shadow Blade going to work. Gets the backstab damage and pounce, and we'll be able to chop her down. Oh, she falls over, but...
Alright, so they lose a support, and now they gain all the intel that Slark does have a Shadow Blade. So I wouldn't be surprised if Outway's like, no problem, let's just go ahead and quickly grab a gem.
Radiant's top tower
just make it that much harder for him to try to get anything off. I mean, Ice already pretty much has his Crimson Guard near complete. So the output damage that's going to be coming up from Slark is going to be nerfed down just that
I'll take that.
So, still, I don't know. DK, they're going to need a lot.
There's the gem.
Hey, a gem, everyone! Yeah, hey, Slark, nice opportunity to, have a Shadow Blade, but now we're going to take that away. But look who's jumping in, though. They're making it go very nicely here on Ice, and they actually pick another great pickoff, but just like that, Super catches up the Billy Goat Man, quickly takes down Shrek, and now they turn their attention towards the Brewmaster, who does have split. Use it, buddy! Use it, buddy! Oh, the disruption going to hold him in place briefly, but he can't even get it off! He gets slammed down from Brad! It's Black who takes him home, and now Shadow Demon! Whoa! Quickly take him apart with the Mystic Flare.
The bash at the beach here as Centaur's just bashing in skulls left and right with that giant mace he's got. Now they'll move into the high ground. Glyph is down for another 15 seconds. They'll be able to get a couple of licks in before they've got the Glyph up. And you do see the power of the Shadow Blade here. Slark is actually pulling his weight in terms of net worth, and he does manage to get these pickoffs, but it's the rest of his teammates that are so far behind. And unfortunately, when you don't have the Shadow Blade up, that's what happens. You just get chopped down if you're stuck without your ulti. So the monster kill streak continues for Black. A buyback onto Slark. Hungry for vengeance here. Super a little bit low on HP. If Slark can close the gap, might be able to make it happen. Cap'n hook shot will be off the mark as he pounces back to safety. Shadow Blade still on cooldown. BG reinitiating. They'll go in hard. XBG forces himself into the defensive disruption, but Black, he's there ready and waiting. He comes back out of the Nether Realm, takes a hoof stomp to the face as the Centaur rears up and kicks him right in the jump.
9-0 for Black. Big bounty to grab if they can get a hold of it, but that is a tough task to go for. As they continue to press on forward, they do manage to take down Fenrir. Skywrath Mage, Cold Snap, no, not going to be so lucky. He gets caught out behind the tree, quickly taken down. Black actually very low, but not before he just slaughters the Slark like it's nothing. FY also able to get away with the benefit of that Stampede. They quickly let Dreamy U in its place, and once again, they'll take him down like a caged animal, and that's going to be more than enough. DK, their tournament life coming to an end now here on the Summit 2, and Vici Gaming, they desperately needed a win, and they fought like that.
They did it in style, 33-7. I don't know what else to say. That was just that was domination. That was forceful dominance from the Centaur. Brad hopping in and just doing some work. Black having a perfect game, 11-0-8, even going back for a Vanguard after the Force Staff. And yeah, DK, they got off to a rough start. They lost 2 of the 3 lanes, but I think the bigger problem was just the double Midas. Really rough. I don't know. The double Midas just makes it so hard to deal with the early blink and all that early game aggression that Vici put out. You know, if they'd put those into some null tallies, maybe some drums, just straight for the Shadow Blade, they might have had a little bit more of a chance.
It just looked rough. Their apparent game plan, they wanted to do the Shadow Demon Leshreck combo. It never got anything. I never once saw a disruption into Split Earth, you know, and I just really think DK's game plan really never came into its own. And I think they were kind of also put off by Vici's draft throwing together into a core Centaur and Super. He's a class act in that mid lane, and it looked like they just couldn't really contest. The Brew was just struggling, and they had such a hard time. And the Crystal Maiden as well, just constantly coming out from the shadows, made his life a living hell. And it worked out so well. We were questioning the Crystal Maiden, but I think it worked great.
Chalk it up to that lack of lane lord, though. Just had no vision when CM was coming in, and it caught the Brewmaster off guard every single time. So there's 1 day left of Summit 2 by G2A.com China group stage. We'll move into the playoffs. Mod will be joining y'all tomorrow night for that coverage. I'm packing up for StarLadder. Me, LD, and Merlini are shipping out, so we'll be gone from the studio for a week. And, of course, StarLadder Finals coming up this weekend. That'll be fun. And old Coddle guy here, he's going to take helm on Europe and all the other fun stuff we've got at the studio. But until then, guys, we're done. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you later for more Summit 2 action.